you don't, because the first thing you're doing tomorrow is withdrawing from the race.
There is a specific kind of power that never announces itself. It doesn't threaten loudly. It doesn't argue. It doesn't try to convince you. It simply presents you with a reality and waits for you to accept it. John Dutton doesn't ask Jamie to drop out of the race. He tells him. And the most revealing thing about this scene is not the punch that comes later. It's the conversation before it. Because John already knows how this ends. He knew before he opened his mouth. And Jamie, somewhere underneath his resistance, knows it too. This scene is a masterclass in one of the most misunderstood forms of control. The kind that works not through force, but through dependency. John doesn't need to threaten Jamie with anything external. The threat is structural. It's built into every year Jamie has spent inside this family, on this ranch, under this name. Let's break down exactly how it works. Jamie Dutton is, on paper, the most conventionally successful of John's children. He went to Harvard, he became a lawyer, he built a legitimate political career. He is running for Attorney General of Montana, a real position earned through real work, and none of it belongs to him. Not really. Everything Jamie has was built on the Dutton name, the Dutton connections, the Dutton money. His law degree was funded by John. His political network runs through John's relationships. The incumbent who was supposed to step aside to clear Jamie's path did so because of a favor owed to John. Jamie has spent his entire adult life constructing an identity as an independent man, and every brick in that construction came from his father's quarry. John knows this, Jamie knows this, and the entire power of this scene rests on that shared, unspoken understanding. What John is about to do isn't persuade Jamie. He is going to remind him of what Jamie already knows about himself.
I'm doing this for you.
No, you're doing it for you, and now you're not doing it anymore.
Hey, I won't quit. My entire career is based around this. I've earned it.
It's not your...
Watch John's face while Jamie makes his case. This is important. John is not listening to evaluate the argument. He is not weighing Jamie's points against his own. He is not considering whether Jamie might be right. He has already decided. He is simply waiting for Jamie to finish. This is one of the most powerful and unsettling dominance moves in any relationship. The total absence of genuine engagement. When you refuse to actually consider someone's argument, not dismissively, not rudely, but simply with the calm certainty that the outcome has already been determined, you communicate something devastating, that their words have no weight in this room. Jamie argues that he has earned the right to run, and he has. His resume is real, his effort is real, his case is legitimate. But John's response, or rather his non-response, reveals the flaw in Jamie's logic. Jamie is arguing about merit. John is operating in the language of loyalty. And in John Dutton's world, those are not the same conversation. Merit is what you build in the outside world. Loyalty is the only currency that matters inside the family. Jamie confused the two. He thought that by proving himself professionally, he had earned the right to act independently. John is about to correct that misunderstanding. The argument Jamie is making is technically sound and completely irrelevant, and John's stillness in the face of it is the clearest possible signal that Jamie hasn't understood the rules of the game he's been playing his entire life.
All you earned today is that.
No! Mr. Dutton!
This family first. You don't step foot on this ranch, you understand? You're not welcome here.
People always remember the punch. They shouldn't. The punch is the least interesting thing John does in this scene. It is loud and physical and dramatic, which is exactly why it distracts from what is actually happening. The punch is just punctuation. The sentence that matters comes after it. Until you're prepared to put the family first, you're not welcome here. That is the move. Because what John has just done, with one sentence, is made Jamie choose between his career and his identity. Not his family, his identity. The ranch is not just where Jamie grew up. It is the foundation of everything he understands himself to be. The Dutton name is the only reason any of his professional achievements exist. John is not threatening to take away Jamie's childhood home. He is threatening to take away the ground Jamie stands on. This is the specific structure of control through dependency. You don't threaten someone's future. You threaten their past. You remind them that everything they've built is built on something you own, and then you offer them a simple choice: the thing they want or the foundation beneath it. Notice also what John does not do. He does not explain himself at length. He does not justify the order. He does not try to make Jamie understand why the family needs this. He issues the ultimatum and stops talking. Because explanation would imply that Jamie's agreement is required. John doesn't need Jamie's agreement. He needs Jamie's compliance. Those are different things. The economy of John's communication here is itself a power signal. Every additional word would be a concession, an acknowledgement that the outcome is not yet decided. John's silence after the ultimatum says, "It is decided. Now we are just waiting for you to accept it."
What happened to you?
We have a real problem. How do I run against my father?
You start by looking in the mirror. Fathers who love their children don't do this.
I feel free. Sit with that for a moment. Jamie has just been physically assaulted by his father, banned from his home, and forced to abandon the most significant professional achievement of his life, and his response is relief. This is the most psychologically precise moment in the entire scene, and it tells you everything about how John Dutton's control actually works. Jamie doesn't feel free because he's escaped something. He feels free because the decision has been made for him. The weight of trying to be both a Dutton and an independent man, the exhausting performance of pretending those two things were compatible, has been lifted. John has clarified the terms. Jamie knows exactly where he stands, and in a strange way, that clarity is a relief. This is the most insidious form of control, the kind that the controlled person actively participates in. Jamie doesn't just submit to John's authority. On some level, he chooses it, because the alternative, genuinely breaking free, genuinely building an independent identity, genuinely walking away from the ranch and the name and the money, is more terrifying than compliance. John understood this about Jamie long before Jamie understood it about himself. That is why he never had to negotiate. Negotiation implies the other person has a genuine exit. Jamie never had one. Not because John blocked it, because Jamie never built one. Every choice he made, from Harvard to law to politics, was made inside the Dutton framework. He never created a life that didn't depend on his father. And John has always known that the moment Jamie was truly tested, that dependency would win. The punch was not the control. The control was the 20 years before the punch. What is the actual lesson in a scene like this, for anyone who doesn't live on a Montana cattle ranch? 3 things. First, the most durable form of control is structural, not active. John doesn't have to manage Jamie on a daily basis. He doesn't have to monitor him or threaten him regularly. The control is built into the architecture of Jamie's life: the name, the money, the network, the identity. Structural dependency is more powerful than any active threat because it doesn't require constant enforcement. It enforces itself. And the lesson that goes with it: if you are building your career, your reputation, or your identity entirely within someone else's framework, inside a family business, inside a single patron's orbit, inside an institution that owns your credentials, you are accumulating dependency, not independence. The question to ask is not how much have I achieved, but how much of what I've achieved can I keep if I walk away? Second, the absence of engagement is itself a power signal. John's stillness while Jamie argues is not passivity. It is a deliberate communication. Your words do not change the outcome. In any negotiation or confrontation, the person who engages most, who argues back, who justifies, who explains, is often the one with less power. Genuine authority doesn't need to make its case. Third, understand the difference between compliance and agreement. John never asked Jamie to agree with him. He never asked Jamie to understand. He asked only for a specific behavior: withdraw from the race. The internal state is irrelevant. This distinction matters in any context where you need someone to act differently: in leadership, in negotiation, in any position of authority. Requiring agreement is much harder than requiring behavior, and often, behavior changes belief over time anyway. The thing none of us want to admit about this scene is how recognizable it is. Most of us have, at some point, felt exactly what Jamie feels when he says he's free: the relief of having someone else make the decision. The comfort of a clear hierarchy after the exhaustion of trying to claim independence you were never quite sure you'd earned. John Dutton is not a model to follow, but he is a mirror worth looking into. The most powerful control doesn't feel like control. It feels like home. John Dutton never had to threaten Jamie's future. He owned Jamie's past, and a man who owns your past owns more of you than you know. The punch was theater. The 20 years before, it was the strategy. Real control doesn't announce itself. It waits, patient, structural, certain, until the moment the other person tries to leave. And then it simply reminds them of everything they've already given up in exchange for belonging.